It was a nice sunny afternoon earlier. I mowed the yard, which is always a challenge with a push mower at the beginning of the season because the grass is so thick, but so rewarding. My dad was a big neat lawn guy, and so I guess I got that from him. I don't know. Smoking some Daughters in Ryan English hoopla in a basket pipe. Kind of a cool basket pipe, actually. I thought so. It was enough for me to buy it. But, you know, the wood is just magnificent. Nice thick walls. Not a fill in it except for these gouges. And then the other side. You know, oops. Hey, what happened there? I don't know. You know, I like things with a little flaw in them. Perfection is not something I aspire to. Character happens in the flaws. That's arguable, but so we're under stay at home, recommended stay at home, without any teeth to it. But I'm doing it, you know, and a lot of total social distancing. So what that has allowed me to do is actually watch some videos for once. I never make the time to do that. So it's been really fun. I've subscribed to some people, you know. I mean, it's just a lot of fun to see what kind of videos other people are making. So anyway, that's fun. And I don't have a TV by choice. It just feels manipulative to me. And, you know, sell. And then the quieter part of that is every image that is presented, oh, that's how you're supposed to be. And I just don't buy it. So I'll be a non-TV guy in that regard. And I do have a Netflix subscription, but I never watch it. I should just get rid of it. And yet I love to watch movies with friends, you know, when I go over to their house. Of course, that's not happening for a while. A while. What is a while? You know, a while could be 6 months or longer, you know. This whole thing is just evolving amazingly. So I end up watching YouTube pipe community videos mostly. And then Skyships Eng, E-N-G. It's a guy from Russia or Ukraine, I'm not sure, but I think Russia. And he does aircraft videos that are entertaining. And of course that's a rabbit hole. But one thing else I've been doing is reading. So a good friend of mine, who actually her mom sold me the house I live in. We've been good friends ever since. Her husband unfortunately passed away in December. So he was from Texas. He was kind of a quiet guy. He really liked Westerns, Western novels. So this is Zane Grey. So she said, oh, please go through these books, and if you want some, take them, please. So I thought, well, I'm not... Westerns always seem to me a little sappy, a little sentimental, kind of predictable, and sometimes pushing an agenda I didn't really care for. But I picked this one up just because I just like kind of the look of it, you know. And it is, actually, was printed in There's the frontis. Copyright 1924 by Zane Grey, 1921, 1922. Now they don't give a print date, so I do not know what that means. I mean, it's copyrighted, but you know, and the print quality is a little low quality. You know, there's a few smears and things, so kind of pulpy, you know. So this may not date from 1924. Yeah, there just is no other information. But it was clearly written just after World War I. So that is 100 years ago. And he does make mention of the flute. And it's really quite amusingly written in that his writing style is archaic in the sense that it's sort of Edwardian. And this book takes place, you know, just after World War I. And so they're dealing with the social tumult engendered by World War I, by the Spanish influenza, and the U.S., well, transportation and communication systems ramping up towards globalization. So many of the same issues here are still current issues. So that's interesting. And it's better written than I was expecting. I was pleasantly surprised. So I'm going to hit her up for some more and see if I can't read the whole canon of Zane Grey. Maybe that's my lockdown end result. Some people are cleaning their garages, the neighbors. I'm going to read all of Zane Grey. I don't know. We'll see. So, some other things has written is Ghost, Wander of the Wasteland, Riders of the Purple Sage. I had heard of that. Totally amazing that these haven't been made into movies, because they're just really just totally built for it. So we're talking data in the last video and how testing of this COVID-19 and of the virus itself is, to quote John Campbell, Dr. John Campbell at Campbell Teaching, lamentable. That English understatement is right on. So, to make good decisions, you need good data. Just for instance, if you're buying a car, the data you need is what's the reliability record of this car? How many miles does it have on it? What's the service history on it? Has it ever been in the southeast United States and been in a flood? You know? Yeah, I mean, you just demand basic data in order to make a decent decision, you know? So you can fly blind, but your decision making then leaves a lot to chance. So we're in a similar situation with this epidemic, this pandemic. And what's missing is testing. So hopefully in the next couple weeks, you know, blah, 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 we'll get some much better testing and much more available. We'll see. But for those of us in the United States, April 1st was Census Day. Now, I don't have a TV, so I was not hit with all kinds of census advertising, like get their snappy little slogans and whatnot. The place I work for, I'm the census guy. I'm the person kind of in charge of dealing with the Census Bureau. So they send me regular things, we're doing this, do you want to participate in this? Check your boundaries, your physical boundaries. I do mapping. I'm a GIS guy, Geographic Information System. So it's a natural thing for me to be doing. But, gosh, April 1st came and went, and everybody's concerned about COVID-19, and nobody's concerned with the census. And then, of course, there are a lot of people who are thinking it's all a big government conspiracy, and the government's going to take away our whatevers and blah blah blah. Folks, we need basic data in order to make good decisions, and the census is how we get a lot of that data. So I personally, my little shack here in the woods, the post office will not deliver my mail down here to my street, right to my driveway. So I have to have a mailbox up on the highway. Well, I tried that, and it's like totally insecure. Forget about it, So I had to get a P.O. box, a post office box, at the post office, which cost me like $60 a year. And then, you're expecting something and you can't make it to the post office before 5. There's some hassles with that. But because I have a post office box, they did not mail me any census information. So they will send an enumerator out, a person, sometime in April, possibly May. So I thought, well, that's crazy. Here I am, kind of the census guy. I need to, fill out the census just so I know what it took to do it, and I can advise people if they have questions. So I went to my 2020 census.gov, and sure enough, there's an option there for, I forget what they called it. You have a P.O. box. I forget. Anyway, so I said yes. And then that took me down a little different path, and I had to verify my address, because I do have a street address. It's a whole nother story. But small town stuff. But it took about 2 minutes to establish my address, and that's what they go on, because it's an address point. And so then I answered my, 10 questions, and it took like 5 minutes, honest to God, 5 minutes. Amazingly easy, and nothing personal, how much hair do you have on your back? Nothing, whatever, it's like, no, there just was nothing there. I know that it was trying to be politicized late last year by the POTUS, but something everybody should do, because the data serves everybody. And again, you can only make good decisions if you have good data. So I urge people to go to my2020census.gov if you haven't already, and do it. Just do it. 10 minutes. God knows you have time to do it, right? Unless you're an essential worker, in which case you're probably overworked at this point. But data, we need good data. This English hoopla's pretty good. It's not great, I'd say, but it's enjoyable. Sometimes that's all you can ask. It changed my life. Well, that, how often can that happen, So, anyway, it's pretty good. Kind of burr. So, go to the census, fill it out, put on your tinfoil hat or whatever you need to do, but do it. And Yeah. And maybe read some Zane Grey.